is it. Don't touch my cup, you know how I sip. Hey, got your long. I made her when I showed out my whip. Hey, spent about 10 on my fit. Ex slick, then hit with the back then, used to out the zip. Blood is back and then dip. Got a whole party all on the ship. All these four things pull out the VIP. Suck, turn up, baby, pour out the milk. So you know how I drip. Crap.
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got what should be a good one between the Miami Dolphins and the Green Bay Packers. With that, let's get up to Green Bay.
And we come to you from one of the truly iconic stadiums in the NFL as you get a look at Lambeau Field here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Today, it's week 4, and we've got what should be a great one here between the Miami Dolphins and the Green Bay Packers. Fall is in the air, and the NFL season is in full swing, and we're underway here in week 4. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. They'll be led out by their quarterback, the guy out of California, the former Cal Bear, Jared Goff.
And I'll bet right now it's just one thought in his mind.
Win the game, yeah.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. He played pretty well. I mean, he didn't turn over the ball in terms of interceptions,
no,
right?
2 touchdown passes.
2 touchdown passes, but when your team doesn't win, that's just hollow. And the best quarterbacks don't care about anything but whether or not their team won.
They'll run on first down. Peyton, he'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. The numbers for him from a week ago: 20 carries, 69 yards.
And I'm eager to see how they deploy him in this game. Last week, a heavy workload. Do they decide to bring that down a little bit and try and keep him fresh? Or do they say, guess what? He's locked in. Keep handing him the football.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. They'll fake the handoff. Now Goff. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Montez Sweat in there to get him. It's a loss of 5.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive.
3 down.
From the gun, here's Goff. And the pressure gets to him again. Montez Sweat able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. And they weren't in zone coverage, they were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
12 yards on the return that time. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Good starting field position for the Dolphins as they have it 1st and 10 at their own 43.
Hey, wahoo! Check 52 the mic. Check 52 the mic. I'm coming after you now.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. This is caught inside the 15. And he takes it down deep into Green Bay territory.
Hey, Mike 52, Mike 52. Bravo. I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Joey Bosa, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing.
Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Joey Bosa make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
Under 10, under 10, 10.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. It's Knox, the tight end, making the catch. He'll get 17 back there, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. Play clock down to 3, and we're going to get a timeout here. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Got it.
So they're going to come to the line here, and it appears trying to go for it on 4th.
Here we go again. Where's 52? What 52?
They'll set up to throw. The quick slant caught. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. So give him the first down. 1st and goal after a pickup of 4, and the decision to go for it pays off.
Alert 3. Out, 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 out. Check the backer, check the backer. Check nickel, nickel, nickel. 49, check 49, check 49.
They'll try and run for it with Barkley. And he takes it into the end zone for the Dolphin touchdown. Saquon Barkley, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. You'd have to imagine for a team that's lost 3 straight games, scoring first in this first quarter has to feel pretty good.
It has to feel great for them, and also it's a nice signal to the rest of the team, because we talk about complimentary football all the time. So they've now signaled to the defense, now signaled to the kicking game, hey, we're here to play in this one. We're going to do our part. Let's see if you guys will do the exact same, and we can break this losing streak.
A drive that time of 6 plays. And the rookie Saquon Barkley, the one who finishes things off with a touchdown run. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
The run on first down gets him a couple up to the 27. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. And the big boys up front in the trenches, what do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Give him 8 yards there. Still a few inches to go, though, as it'll be 3rd down at about the length of the football.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
On 3rd down, Peyton, and he's going to have the first down at about the 38. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. The last two plays each lose a yard. They'll try to move forward here on 3rd and 12. Goff now to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Montez Sweat getting him once again his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? That's 3 sacks now, and this team came into the game in the bottom 5 in the league in sacks.
Yeah,
What's going on?
It's not been their bread and butter. I don't know. Is a blind squirrel finding a nut, or is this something they can build on?
Well, they found some momentum. They found a crack in that offensive line, and they're putting it to good use.
Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. Look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
A gain of 6 there on first.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. 2nd and 4. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off at the 48. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line.
Yeah, he's just trying to throw this ball into the hole in the zone, but those windows can open and close quickly, especially in the middle of the field. So if the timing's not right, we'll see interceptions like that one right there.
Watch the run, watch the run.
After the interception, here's Goff. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
3rd and 2, Goff. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. The 40. He's at the 30. 10. 5. And he will score. Touchdown, Miami.
That's a touchdown. That's a touchdown right there.
And give some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice. You're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. So Jared Goff, he is the focus of our play. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. The Packers on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This will be 3rd and 5. Now Goff. And that is incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. This is fielded inside the 5. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. So now the Dolphins set to take over on offense. They are trying to snap that 3-game losing streak, on top so far with the football here, 1st and 10.
You draw quarter. 52. Yep. Watch the twist. Hey, my 52. 5. I'm on. My check. 2, my 52. Flipper. Load it. We want it. Come to my world. Check. Fresno. You go tight. You got tight. Big rip.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long.
Let's go, boys. Let's go. Never mind, 52.
He'll look to throw. Finding Knox there, complete. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. That one covers 29 yards, 1st down.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
He'll look to throw. Wide open receiver, complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Go.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Joey Bosa in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. They'll set up a throw.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things that's gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. No, he doesn't have it. Maybe some alligator arms there going over the middle. 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Let's make these babies cry all the way back home, yo. Let's make these babies cry all the way back home. Watch it.
Back to throw. Going deep downfield for Ross. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
Well, we quit counting yardage on that one, didn't we? That was truly 3rd and a mile, wasn't it?
It was. I thought they might just go underneath, but they didn't. They wanted to get the 1st down there.
Yeah, they tried to pick up the huge chunk unsuccessfully. I'm with you. I would have tried to take some yardage just to gain some field position.
So they'll play the field position game here as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong? You know, back and forth like that? That definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of 1st downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 1st downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
Here we go. 20. 55. Silver.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Goff. He completes it to Henry. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the 1st half. A good throw here, finding Pascal. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. To throw again on second down. Goff. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime.
We go tonight. Like 20. 55, Mike, 55.
Throwing on third. Goff. And he's going to go down again. Montez Sweat able to record his 5th sack of the season. Now the Dolphins will use the last of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. On now is the Packers punter. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Now the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
Check safety, check safety. Hey, Charlie.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Going deep down. Oh, wide open. Complete. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. John Ross in the final seconds of the first half. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. One play, 80 yards. Pretty easy drive to recap.
It certainly is, but not so easy to execute. Starting on your own 20, you want something to kickstart your drive and get it off to a nice start. They went for the whole thing and got it. That's a great way to send a message to the opposing team.
Now the extra point. And it is now 21-0. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 18 big yards on that one, and a Miami first.
Hey.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Joey Bosa has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
Tight dog. Hey, seam 6. 52. Shoot.
On play action, they'll throw. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
They need to stop to get back into this game, and here's one right to start the third quarter.
Yeah, anytime you go to the lockers with that 2-3 score deficit, you're right. You need that stop, get the football back, and they've done just that.
Series to series, play to play.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long.
52's the mic. Let's go. Check 37. Check over.
He'll drop to throw. Looking deep downfield. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 24. And he'll bring this all the way up to the 45-yard line. If they needed a break, they needed to make a play here in the third quarter defensively. They did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break. Taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, Captain.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Leighton Vander Esch wreaking havoc with a sack.
So if we recount real quick, he had the touchdown earlier, and now he comes up with the sack here. No doubt about it, he's having himself a game.
After the sack on first down, Goff, and the pressure gets to him again. Montez Sweat able to record his 5th sack of the season.
So, Brandon, we've sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
Now Goff under pressure again, and down he goes again. Montez Sweat in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, third quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. It's a 4-yard return following a punt of 49. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want it. He's got a man complete. The 20, 10, and all the way in for a Miami touchdown. John Ross with his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even to the red zone, let alone, you know, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a first down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle for them throughout the game, and that 3-and-out on the last possession, that told you just how stalled they are on offense.
So who will step up here? We'll see. They'll keep it on the ground. Peyton. A nice job there as he rumbles for 9, and it'll be back to a 3rd and 3. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Out of the gun. Gone. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. This is brought in at the 21. A very good return that time. 18 yards, and it'll be Dolphin football. John Ross and the rest of the offense heading back onto the field. Seems like the measuring stick for a receiver for a great game is 100 yards. Well, he's well past that now.
And as we analyze how he's getting them, that's where it really becomes fun because, let's face it, they keep sending coverage at him, keep trying to put the pressure on, yet he finds ways downfield and finds openings. That's a really crafty receiver.
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by the linebacker, Raekwon McMillan. And the return across midfield into the 46-yard line. This defense figured out something in the locker room. That's 2 third-quarter picks now.
And you just wonder, did he get too comfortable in the locker room himself? His team has the lead. Take care of the football. He's putting them in jeopardy right now.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. On 2nd and 9, Goff. They set up the screen to Peyton. A gain of 28 yards there and give him a first down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
3 quarters in the books. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Throwing on 2nd down. Goff. And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. Montez Sweat. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
Hey, Mike 52, Mike 52. I'm scared. Hey,
3rd and long. It's gone. And he's going to go down again. Montez Sweat make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. This ball game certainly has gotten a little out of hand. This is normally when they say you got to fill. This is fill time for guys like you and I. But, yeah, to be frank, just a dominating performance. Really impressive what we've seen.
It is. I'm glad that you went in that direction because otherwise we're going to have to talk about the museum tour we took yesterday.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Joey Bosa has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down.
6-6, pull it high. Where's 52? Watch 52. Hey, wahoo! It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day. Go. Me. Now.
They'll drop to throw. He's going to float this over the middle, deep. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Getting a hand in there and knocking it away, Eddie Jackson. Fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
Back to throw here. Going deep downfield for Ross. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's fourth down.
Finally, a good play there defensively on the deep ball. The secondary has had its struggles this entire game. Offensively, they've had their way with them.
The Dolphins will send out the punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. 46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. So a change of possession here on the punt. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Under 4 to go now as they come up on second down. Here's Gall. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Well, it was second long. Now it's third and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving them exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
Gall. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Montez Sweat in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
Well, certainly some teams are not intimidated by down and distance on defense, are they? Third and very long? Let's go get this guy again. Big-time pressure.
And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. We've got a lopsided game here. I don't know, Charles, what does the handbook say that we discuss when we've got a game like this in the fourth quarter?
Hold on a second. Let me thumb to the proper page on that. Know what it says?
What?
Let's discuss how we got here. This is a dominant performance, where they took control of this game, how they managed
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a second down and 17.
Hey, Zoo. 5-2, the Mike 5-2. Protein spill. Joker. Check three. Watch the safety creep. Ready.
They're going to look to throw. Flushed out right. On the run. He'll let this go deep right side. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's third down. The Dolphins on third down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is third and 17.
Hey, Orbit. Tighten up. Check 13.
They'll look to throw. He'll rifle this one deep. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. 30, 10, and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
There's no doubt in my mind.
And do you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right? I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
Going. She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that will extend this big lead. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and it ends with a touchdown for the Dolphins. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Now trotting out there, the Packers getting ready to go. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Goff now looks to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely.
10-2 stop. Push him back. Push him back.
That one looks like he'll throw here. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Eddie Jackson picks it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the second week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. That first down completion only netted him 3. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Hey, here we go. Watch the pass. Watch the pass.
From the gun, here's Goff. And that will be incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
This is taken around the 12. Yeah, that's a pretty good one for the old average. 68 yards on the punt there. And the Dolphins' drive will start deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Watch Mike, watch Mike. Watch the run, watch the run. Check 26, check 26. Check, 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 check.
A first throw for the backup Jackson. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. The Dolphins going to take their 2nd timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone.
I smell fear in that offense. No, check that.
Oh, Jackson's going to throw it. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. So another score there, and often you talk about the three phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a fourth phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the fourth quarter. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead will swell by one more. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it winds up in 6 points for the Dolphins. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest. And he's going to be taken down. Goff is sacked. Now the Dolphins will use the last of their timeouts. That'll be their third and final stoppage here as we step aside. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19.
Mike 5-5, Mike 55, Mike 55.
Back to throw, Goff. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. Montez Sweat racking up sack number 12 for him on the year. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and they're going to sack him yet again. The pass rush has been relentless. This time it yields a safety. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does him in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
they can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? Imagine what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, "Start the bus," because they think this one is over.
Oh, he'll field it in the end zone.
Let's go. Let's do this.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Dolphins, it took a few weeks, but they finally get their first one of the season here in Week 4. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Packers, they'll fall back to 500 at 2-2. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next.
Ladies and gentlemen,